This is Let's Talk Teens, a parenting podcast sharing tips on raising amazing teenagers. We are both certified life coaches that have worked with teenagers as coaches, mentors, and teachers. We are sharing what we have found to work best when dealing with teens and tough issues.
This is Let's Talk Teens with Abbi and Cheree, episode 52. 5 Lies Keeping Your Teen Miserable.
Cheree, I'm excited to talk about these 5 lies or topics that I hear come out of teens' mouths all the time. And I kind of just want to shake them by the shoulders, right? So hopefully this could be, things that mom, dad, you listen to, and then you go, oh, okay, one, that's normal, right? For a teen to think this way. And like, two, I think there's some ways that we can help them frame their mindset around these lies that are keeping your teen miserable. So we'll dive right in. The first one that I hear often is this shouldn't be so hard. And you can apply that to lots of things. Like school shouldn't be this hard. Being a teenager shouldn't be this hard. Dating, relationships shouldn't be this hard. And I always remind my teen clients, I'm like, life is hard, right? Like growth is hard. And I think as teenagers, we think because teenagehood does have so many shiny, amazing things like I get to drive, I get to start to date, I'm building some lifelong friendships, right? Like it has so many awesome perks. And I think high school is like the funnest out of all your school experiences. I think somehow they associate that with, well, everything should just kind of click for me and it should be so easy. And so I think it's really helpful not to like jerk your kid down to reality, but to just remind them like, hey, every stage of stage of life is hard. So it's hard to be a toddler, it's hard to be a teenager, it's hard to be an adult, right? And that doesn't mean you've done anything wrong. It means that you're actually like doing it right, right? That this is how life goes.
For sure. I love that that's your number one because I hear that all the time as well. And nothing's gone wrong. It is 100% supposed to be hard because that's how we grow. And over Labor Day weekend, I was with some extended family, and I actually had an opportunity to talk to some of my family, my nieces and nephews especially. And I gave them all Sour Patch Kids little packages. And we talked about how like that candy is so yummy. We love it. The sour and the sweet, right?
Mhm.
And how nothing's gone wrong in that candy. In fact, it was made that way. And how we don't think, oh gosh, why do they put sour with sweet? Like we're just like, ooh, those are good, especially the watermelons we decided.
Oh, I love those. Yes.
Yum. And yet, like that's life. It's sour and it's sweet. You know what? It's hard. And that's what makes it sour and sweet. That's what makes it also joyful when we accomplish things or we overcome hard things. It's supposed to be sour and sweet. It's supposed to be hard. So I love that one.
One of my favorite coaches that I've worked with, she always says life is 50-50, right? Like if you get a brand new puppy, 50% of that is glorious, right? They're so cute and they're snuggly and everybody wants to see it. And it's just like your heart could explode. And then there's the part that's hard of like they're gonna pee all over your carpet and they're gonna eat your notebook and you've got to take care of this thing and so that really helps me when I slip into this mentality as well of like, shouldn't be this hard. And I go, wait, no, actually it should be, right? Like it's 50-50. So we take the sweet and the sour.
Yep.
Now, the second one is I need everybody to like me. Now, this one's a tricky one for teens because on its surface, they're like, yeah, I know that's not true, right? But in our hearts, we believe that. And oh, Cheree, I don't know about you. I'm a people pleaser, like through and through. It's just part of my
Me too.
personality. And so that's been a hard one to let go of and to go, you know what? Not everybody has to like me and not everybody has to be happy with me. Now, I'd love to hear your thoughts on this, Cheree, but my experience working with teens is I just don't know if like their world right now of junior high and high school and kind of their mental capacity can let them accept this truth fully. I don't know. Have you experienced that?
Yeah, I totally agree because I teach my clients and even their parents, especially when we're talking about this, about how it's that caveman brain that, even though our world has evolved, our brain hasn't. And if we got kicked out of the cave back in caveman days, we wouldn't be able to survive. We need to be part of a pack of people, right? Otherwise, and then we don't have to worry about predators and we don't have to worry about survival issues. And I think our teens' brains, all of ours, but even teens, even like, it's just stronger impulse to like, I can't get kicked out of the pack. I can't, if people don't like me, I'm going to get kicked out and I'm going to be by myself and then I can't survive this
Mhm.
world. So I think that that need is so great to belong. It really is. And it's so hard to get to a place where you're like, I'm not for everybody. And I don't necessarily click with everyone, and it doesn't mean anything about that person I don't click with. It doesn't change their worth or anything. But for some reason when it flips around and people, I'm not for everybody, it is a little harder. But I have to
Yeah.
I think like that practice of like I'm not for everybody and it's okay. One, can I add one thing to that? I talked about I have this cute niece who doesn't like chocolate at all. Like, can't stand it.
What?
I know, right? Like, I love chocolate so much. And yet she loves like Skittles and candy, and I'm not really a big fan. And that
Hmm.
doesn't make Skittles and gummies horrible, and it doesn't make chocolate horrible. It's just that's not like what appeals to us, right? And I kind of think about people that way. I know that's a silly analogy, but I'm not for everyone, just like chocolate's not for everyone, and Skittles aren't for everybody. We just have our preferences, and those things and those people we just connect to and are drawn to.
And I think to help out your teen, because you're probably going like, well, why would you share this if you don't think a teen can actually like digest this truth? Is I think what we do as parents is we help them find those places that they do belong
Mm.
so that they're not out there searching and going, I need everybody to like me, even though that is what's going on in your teen's brain. But if they feel like, hey, I got great support at home, I know mom and dad love me, I know I have this core group of friends, right? Or even just one friend, right? We don't actually need a bunch of friends. We just need those one or two deep relationships. And so helping your teen, find those and find that sense of belonging so that we can almost kind of push down some of these feelings of like, I just need everybody to like me and to be happy with me. If we have that circle of security and circle of support, we can really talk our brain through it and go, you know what? I am loved. I am like people do like me. And that's one thing I actually have my clients like that's an affirmation I give them is people like me. People like me. And it really helps when we can just feed our brain those truths.
I really like what you said about talking ourselves through it. And I think that's why you probably brought this one up is, maybe we can't fully change the teen's brain yet in believing that they're okay, but to have them talk through it, I think that's what opens their mind
Mhm.
to believing something different in the future and continuing to progress in that. I love that.
Well, and this third lie kind of goes with it. And this third lie is if people liked me, they would dot, dot, dot. So they would want to hang out with me. They would want to date me. They would invite me to the party, right? And we fill in that blank. And I think it's just so easy for our brain to go, yep, that's truth, right? Because that's what good friends do. Well, we also forget we can't control other people and that other people aren't like us, right? Maybe how I would like to be included in friendship is we hang out 24/7, right? Whereas somebody else is like, you know what? I just want to text, right? Or I just want to have really great connections in math class, but I don't need that connection outside of school. And that was kind of my experience, Cheree. I am somebody, I am an introvert at heart. And so I just need, one or two close friends. And honestly, I have very low social needs. And so getting that at school was great and all I needed. So I would hate to think if somebody was out there and goes, well, I like Abby. We have such a great time in class together, but she's not calling to hang out with me. I would hate that if they read that as, well, she doesn't like me enough, right, as a friend, because that's just not like where my brain goes. My brain's like, awesome. I filled my social cup up. I hung out with my friends at school. I'm good, right? And so we got to help our teen realize people are going to do what they do and we are in charge of us. So if I want to be hanging out with people, if I want to make people feel included, I need to shoot that text. I need to go invite somebody to come hang out at my house. I need to initiate this. And to help with my youth clients that have high social needs, I tell them every day you got to make 5 attempts, right? 5 fishing pole throws out there of I asked this friend, hey, do you want to go to lunch? I texted this friend if they want to hang out. I, did this and this and this. 5 attempts of them reaching out because more often than not, they get multiple response back, whether that's just a text conversation or, yes, I'd love to hang out. But I teach them to be initiators because we can't just sit around and go, well, if people really liked me, they would invite me.
It's such an important job. You better take that one yourself.
Mm.
Instead of like if you have a need of being social and you want to make sure you're hanging out with people, that's such an important job. Don't give it to someone else. You take that one. Then you make sure it happens. You make sure you have those social plans.
Well, lie number 4 is I should be good at something by now. I will never forget, Cheree. I was teaching high school during one of these last Olympics here, and one of my students came in so bummed one day, and I was like, "What's up?" You're kind of like poking because they're like, "Nothing, I'm fine." And then finally, a guy came out. They're like, "I just, you watch these kids on the Olympics, and sometimes they really are kids. There's like a 16-year-old gymnast, there's like an 18-year-old track and field start, right?" And they were just like, I really want to be good at this and I feel like it's too late for me. And it's funny because as an adult, you just want to kind of laugh. You just want to be like, "Oh my goodness, you have so much time ahead of you." But I totally remember feeling that. So I didn't do dance at all growing up. And then, I felt like by the time high school rolled around, it would be way too embarrassing and way too hard to start at a dance class. And I'd have to literally be with like 6-year-old Cheree. Like I'd have to be in the baby class. And so I just think it's really important to tell teens, like, yes, there are some kids your age that they've been doing this since they've been 2, right? And guess what? They earned being that good at this talent. But that doesn't mean you can't start. The other day, I realized I really have a really deep need that I want to learn Spanish. My brother and my sister-in-law are fluent. Their kids are fluent and bilingual. And I was just like, oh, poor me. And then it hit me. I was like, I could take lessons, right? And I was like, I can take control of this. Now, would it have been better if I started younger? Sure, absolutely. But like, it's okay to be a beginner. And that's something that I feel like teens sometimes have a hard time because some of their peers really are starting to really lean into their talents, but they can be beginners.
Yeah, absolutely. I love that. Being a beginner, let yourself be a beginner. It's hard. Our brain doesn't like it. And it's never too early and it's never too late to learn something new.
Now, our last lie for you is that being popular matters. Now, oh, Cheree, when I bring this up with my clients, it's like a hot iron poker rod. They like bristle against this. They are like, no, let me tell you all the reasons why that matters, right? And one thing that really helped me when I was kind of breaking out of some of these ideologies is nobody has ever asked me once in a job interview how popular I was at school or what clubs or activities I did at school. Nobody once ever in a church calling or neighborhood social or anything like that has ever said, well, like how popular were you at school, right? And I get that sometimes youth who are really popular have developed really awesome social skills, right? And those are definitely transferable. But I think we have to help our teen recognize, and this goes back to those other lies, right? Not everybody has to love me, right? Not everybody has to want to hang out with me 24/7, but I can be a really awesome, nice kid, and I'm still not going to be the most popular kid in school. And that's just kind of the way the cookie crumbles.
Yeah. It's so funny. We were talking about this the other day, my daughter and I, and some of my nieces and nephews, and how when you're in high school, you just think that popularity and having someone to sit by and friends are like the most important thing in the whole world. And you cannot imagine ever sitting by yourself at lunch or, whatever, not being popular. And then you go to college, and she was saying the first week at college, I went to one of my classes, and then I went and had lunch, and I was just sitting by myself, and she's like, and it was totally fine. The social pressure was like instantly gone. And she said, I could have never imagined that happening in high school, but how nice it was in college to just be able to like be with yourself and be okay with it. And I think sometimes I like, what you talked about with your neighbors and your, coworkers and who asked if you're popular. I love to do that with my teen clients of asking them, okay, so 5 years from now, how important will that be? that you're popular, or how, 8 years or 10 years, and how will being popular affect your future life? What importance? And I like them to really think through it, because just as my daughter experienced, it changed like a week into college, that importance of needing friends. And there is just something that changes. And in the moment, it feels like a life or death thing to not have friends or not be popular. But it really is a temporary thing that changes and ends on yearbook day, your senior year, that whole popularity thing. It does, it
It's weird. It's like weird
ends.
because it does end in a day. It's like insane.
Yep. Yep. So
Um,
the end is coming. Tell your seniors that.
one of one of my last thoughts on this is on the flip side, as a parent, what do I focus on then for my youth? Because I genuinely, I want my kids to be popular. I want them to be well liked. I want them to have lots of friends, right? I think that is a very normal mama bear wish and desire for our kids. But I think we need to shift it from, okay, I just want everybody to like them at school and they have lots of friends, to, are they kind? Are they respected? Because those things do matter. Those things are when you can get on Facebook 5 years, 10 years, 15 years after high school and go, oh, good for this person that they got this awesome job, or they got married, or they have this big family because they were so cool in high school, or they were so nice, or I don't remember a mean word coming out of their mouth, right? Or they let me join their dance group last second, right? Those are the things that people are going to remember and care about versus, yeah, this kid. And I mean, I could point them out to you, right? Of like, yeah, they were super popular in school, but that's all I know about them versus helping my youth and my children go, okay, what really matters is that I'm kind, that I respect other people, and that I can be proud of what I leave behind.
For sure. And be your best self, right? To really, at the end of the day, have no regrets because of how you acted, instead of, speaking of our teens, like, you want them to have no regrets. So they can say at the end of high school or whatever, like, I really like how I showed up and I have no regrets. I mean, I don't know, maybe all of us have regrets from high school years, but
Yes.
to overall just be like, I really like how I showed up. I really like that I was my best self overall. Not, I think we'll never be like, oh man, I really wish I was popular. I think we'll say more like, oh, I really wish I was kinder, or I really wish,
Hmm.
I think that's just a good point. I love
Yeah.
it.
And just, talking your teen through that, sharing your own stories, right? Of when, maybe somebody was that kind person to you, or I
Mhm.
love, my favorite thing in the world is when I hear that the popular kids really are the nicest kids,
Yep.
right? Because that's not the stereotype, but I love that. And if that's something you experienced, please share that with your youth, right? Please share that with your teens. So we hope that these five lies keeping your teen miserable are really great conversation starters for you this week with your teen, and that you will join us in our next episode. Thank you for listening to Let's Talk Teens with Cheree Murdock and Abbi Winslow. If you are looking for more tips to help your teenager, here's where you can find us. You can find Cheree Murdock on Instagram at Cheree Murdock Coaching, or on her website, ChereeMurdock.com. You can find me, Abbi, on Instagram as Abbi Winslow, or on my website, AbbiWinslow.com. Please rate and review our podcast and share with a fellow parent. Thanks for listening.